Hello, everyone. This is Charlie and Joey Share. We are two jackasses from Long Island starting a podcast about recovery. My name is Charlie,
And I'm Joey.
and we are just doing this to see if we can help ourselves and help anyone else with their recovery. A little bit of background about ourselves. Why don't we start with Joe?
So, yeah, I'm Joey. I'm 31 years old. I was born in Brooklyn, moved out to Long Island around 10 years old. I'm a construction worker in New York City. And I've been dealing, with recovery in and out of the rooms for, I would say, the last 8 years.
Oh, that's awesome, Joe. And myself, I'm a little bit older than Joseph. I've been dealing with alcoholism for a very long time, over 20 plus years, I would say. I was in and out of AA rooms a lot, never did inpatient or anything like that until recently. Just got out of inpatient. I enjoyed the help I got there. And now we're moving forward with continuing our recovery with AA groups and
NA guy. I'm NA.
NA.
Don't get it twisted.
Of course. True. Sorry, Joe.
Tell them where we met.
Okay, so we started at CK Post, inpatient, and Joseph was there.
Food was incredible.
Oh, fantastic.
Jail food.
Oh, the Jamaican beef patties, baby.
Yeah.
We hit it off pretty well. Obviously, we were both city guys, moved out to Long Island when we were kids. So we shacked up. We were in a room together. Went to all the meetings together, just hit it off very well, and became very good friends and stayed that way since. We're going to a lot of meetings together. Joe's, as he said before, in NA. I'm in AA. I believe both groups help. Depends on what you're looking to get out of them. I just think NA's more. NA's just like AA, but with more tattoos, is what I've noticed. I don't
That
know.
and it's more spiritual, in my opinion.
Okay, maybe
Steps are
more
a lot deeper, brother.
Yeah, true. Yeah, keep telling yourself you're more spiritual. That'll work, Joe. All right, so why don't we discuss progression, Joe? Why don't you start with that?
So progression. So it wasn't all bad at first, right? It wasn't like one day I was like, let me just go get some heroin. That's a fucking great idea. I said no. So what happened was high school, everything was good, man. Drinking, partying on weekends. Even a little bit after high school when the EDM scene came around and I started going to raves and Molly was a big thing, life was still pretty good. For me, it wasn't until I found the love of my life, which at that time was Dilaudid, and completely took everything over, bro. Everything fucking went to shit real quick, and that'd be my drug of choice. Would be opiates and heroin and all that fucking fun shit. But what I've learned for myself is it doesn't matter what I put into my body, whatever gets me out of myself. I've switched addictions. I've switched from opiates and downers to uppers with coke and all that. But what I continue to learn, it seems like I've gotten to a point where I'm at where I want recovery. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
I want it because everything I've been through over the last fucking decade, I can't live without it. Every single time I put something ahead of my recovery, everything goes to shit. And I've proven to myself time and time again, oh, I could just have one beer. Oh, I'm good, bro. I got 7 months, 8 months. You know what? I had a fucking hard day at work. I could have one beer. And that one beer might be good for a week, might be good for 2 weeks. But then the little fucking devil on my shoulder would be like, you know what sounds good with beer right now? I want some fucking blow, bro. Let me get some blow. And bro, off to the fucking races.
That's it, man. Yeah.
And it just, if you're a real alcoholic and addict like I am, abstinence is the only way. We got it arrested, but what I love about recovery too is not only am I putting the drugs and alcohol down, I'm learning to grow. I'm learning to create a life for myself where I'm actually genuinely fucking happy.
It tends to do that when you stay sober.
It is. It's a fucking crazy thing.
We've been learning that for a while now, right?
Also, stop playing the blame game is a big one too.
100%.
When you start fucking saying, oh, it's that one's fault, it's my boss's fault, it's this one's fault, and really start taking a look at yourself, shit starts to change.
100%. Yeah, I did that. We all, every addict does the blame game, that's for sure. It's funny too because a lot of people. I used bad things that happen to you. You use any excuse that, you know, oh, you had a bad day, or, you know, oh, let me stop at the liquor store on the way home from work. Like, yeah, I get it. And it's, we're not those guys to have a drink or do a line or
Yeah.
hang out. It's casual, and nothing's casual.
Doesn't matter what it is.
I go to weddings until I, you know, knock the cake down, and it's someone else's wedding.
Yeah. Waking up in psych wards. Those are fun. Oh, let me tell you something else, folks. Kratom. Kratom. It's legal. I fucking got hooked on that, bro. Porn and shit for Kratom. Who does that?
For kratom.
Yeah, because I didn't want to go back to dope, but I still needed something to get me out of myself. And it worked for a little bit.
There's a lot of people that actually think kratom's the way to go.
Yeah. Not for this addict. It's fucking crazy, bro. The progression is crazy. And the sad thing is that a lot of us don't make it. That's the sad truth. We're dying out there every single day.
No, it's funny too. Not that it's funny, I shouldn't say, but being in inpatient with Joe, something that resonated with me and stuck with me pretty hard was when you talk about the deaths of people on the normal life. You know, when someone dies, everyone has remorse and everyone feels pain.
Yeah.
And we discussed this in the rooms. I think you would remember.
Oh, when
that,
I shared this.
where it's just a number nowadays. It's crazy because
You
you're
just
so
become
used
numb.
to it, and you're numb to your own friends dying.
You become numb.
You made a statement about Arizona.
Yeah.
That you were in a house out there with how many
Yeah.
guys?
Yeah, there was about 10 of us. I think there's 2 left, me and one other guy. And that was only 3 or 4 years ago.
It's crazy.
You know?
what addiction does, and especially now with drugs out there. And I'm not making alcohol lesser of an evil. By the way, alcohol kills more people than anything else, and it actually destroys you from the inside out. You're doing a slow death, which is the worst thing.
I'll say one thing, because I do NA. I've done steps in AA as well before. The reason why I qualify with AA too, because in our basic text, alcohol is a drug. But for me, it doesn't start. It starts with alcohol, like I was saying earlier. Like it doesn't.
For most people, you're 100% right.
That.
You're 100%.
And I'm sure a lot of people can agree with that. Like life's not great. Let me go get dope.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I drank. I'd be one of those guys drinking in the woods, 13 years old, smoke some weed. When I went to college, my first semester in college.
Where'd you go to college?
I went Stony Brook, but I started in Suffolk Community College with one of my best friends from high school, which I'm still very close friends with. We would do bong hits before every class. We took the first semester. We took the same classes together.
Yeah.
He got A's in every class that we took, and I failed every class. So that was the last time I smoked weed. Was way back then.
So not a pothead.
Just not my
thing. Just a
thing.
raging degenerate alcoholic.
Just not my thing. But to be without thanks Joey. Yeah, without question, that is 100% true. And I don't hold. Again, we're talking about recovery. I don't hold people that smoke pot socially. I don't look at them as an addict. I think a person that's drinking a lot more than smoking pot is in a worse position. It's a harder drug on you. A lot of people enjoy smoking pot. Again, occasionally, I'm not condoning pot smoking.
Yeah.
It's not for me. And it's not for Joe.
Well, I think
it's not for anyone in recovery. But if you were just a casual smoker,
yeah,
I don't think it's.
I think what it comes down to is if the drugs and alcohol that you're using, is it making your fucking life unmanageable?
Right, unmanageable.
Can you get through a day without taking drugs or alcohol? Like these are questions you got to fucking ask yourself before. Like that's what I started asking myself when I went to 6 rehabs. I'm on number 6. CK Post with you was number 6. So the first time I went to rehab, I was with the plumbers in New York City, Local 1 plumbers, and I got thrown out of the apprenticeship, bro. I kept going to rehab. Because I went to rehab the first time for the job. The second time I went, which was fucking 2-3 weeks later, maybe I do have a pill problem, but I could still drink. And they let me out New Year's Eve, so let me just add that.
That's a good day to
2 weeks later, I was back, bro. I could never get it. I always, like most of us, try to fucking figure out a successful way to live, and use. And it doesn't matter, bro. It's just fucking pure insanity when I put fucking chemicals or a drink into my body.
It's crazy too, because in my scenario, drinking was a big deal for me, but responsibility was also the number one thing for me. So I would go to work every day and make my money. And I'm divorced. I have 2 children. I pay child support. Make sure that was done. That was first and foremost. But then as soon as I left my job, I'd stop at the liquor store, go home. I lived by myself in an apartment. I'd drink till I passed out. Woke up the next morning, went to work, and I thought that was okay. Hey, I'm taking care of the world, right? I'm taking care of the world. Nobody. I'm not hurting anybody, and what I'm doing is what's the big deal? But you realize you put a drain on
Functioning alcoholic.
That's what they call it, buddy. That's what they call
Functioning.
it. Thank you. You know, you have all the terms for AA and NA. That's pretty good. I'm still a noob when it comes to all that.
That's all right, bro.
I used to go to AA. I was sober for about 18 months at one point in life.
Dry drunk.
I was a...
That's another term.
Douchebag is what I called it. But, yeah.
Just miserable at everybody.
Yes.
Fucking not working on yourself. You know, it sounds a little harsh, bro, but like, when I get more fucking long-term recovery, if I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be miserable, you know?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I'd rather just go back out and use.
I agree.
You know?
I agree.
I mean, that's what, you know, this whole fucking program shows us is how to live a fucking clean and sober life. And to continue spiritually and to continue to work on yourself, you know? And one day at a time, like they say.
100%. I do a lot of reading. I read self-help books. I kind of drain Joe with some of the
I got to get better at the reading.
Minutia of my books and say, oh, you know, that's addict behavior, Joseph, with certain things.
Why don't you tell him what the Joseph thing's
as a
about?
joke. Oh, yeah. So when I met Joey, his aunt, he told me he hates the way his
My aunt from Delaware, Aunt Kim, if you ever listen to this. Joseph. And he... Delawarean accent.
Like an idiot, he told me that, and I usually use things against people when I know it bothers them the most. So
Yeah, you're
that's
good
one
at
of
that.
the things we did.
You're great at that, actually.
We both do that pretty good. But yeah, so if you hear me say Joseph or Joseph, because they spelled his fucking name wrong on the door when we lived in
Oh, they
CQ
did.
Post
Yeah, they
together.
added an A, right?
So I
With
used to
fucking
say
O.
Joseph to Joey as well. We had a lot of... Oh, by the way... I probably should have brought this up before we started recording, but one of our buddies that we were there with that happened to come back a month after he was already there. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to mention names, obviously.
No names.
So I think you know what I'm talking about.
No.
He was there a month before us.
Okay.
Got out, did his thing, came back with us.
Okay. And he's back again.
I just saw him in the hallway
Get
yesterday.
the fuck out of here. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's back. He's back. So at least he's trying. I mean, it's a good thing to dredge forward. The program doesn't work the first time for everybody, as you know. And again, I've been in AA. Didn't work for me. I wasn't doing it right. I think
Well, we're
impatient.
glad you make it back, bro, because a lot of people don't. That's what it comes down to.
100%.
Grateful they come back.
Especially when you're doing certain things that could kill you. So
Yeah. I'm a chronic relapser, bro. That's my MO.
But I think
that's what I'm trying to figure out.
I think we are trying. I think we're starting to get the gist of what we're supposed to be doing here. Hopefully,
I think just living in the moment, not projecting.
Yeah.
You know, trying to live on the day, right? We all got 24 hours. Make it the best 24 hours that you can. Right. And the days are adding up, right? They're fucking time.
Time comes quick. You know? Time comes quick.
Before you look back, you're like, holy shit, bro, I didn't use.
Yesterday we went to a convention for NA.
Yeah.
I met Joe out there with a friend of mine that's also NA.
Speaker jam.
We had a blast there. Food was great. Good times. Good speakers. And surrounding yourself by sober people, that's the weirdest thing to me. I got to be honest, Joe. I've been struggling with that.
Yeah.
Not struggling with it. It's just amazing to me that now I'm doing that. I never did that in the past.
Yeah, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I used to do that shit too.
Always.
I would either go to meetings, not get a sponsor, right? I would either not get the sponsor, you know, never get a commitment, you know. I fully, this last time that I was trying to get clean, and I should probably touch up on that story about my whole back surgery is what took me out this last time. And they described me on
which
fucking
is
oxys
unfortunately happens to a lot of people. Yeah, why don't you give us a little background on
Yeah,
that?
well, what I wanted to say too is that it's all or nothing program, you know, and that's why the suggestions are there, because it's working for other people. You know, we're not special. We all fucking deal with this shit. You know, we all have a common fucking enemy, I would say, is drugs and alcohol, and people have learned to live a clean life and sober life without it, you know. But yeah, my last run, I would say, I was doing great. I was coming up 6 months, I think, in NA. I had my sponsor support group. I got hurt in the gym, and
I work out.
unfortunately, I lift, bro. I lift.
By the way, Joe's been back in the gym. He's huge
I just
now.
got cleared. Not yet.
started,
Give me a few months. Give me a few
16
months.
hours
Maybe
ago.
when we go to video, they'll see the guns. So, I everything was going well back in the gym, and I fucking hurt myself deadlifting. And I went to one chiropractor. He told me pulled hamstring. Went to Good Sam. They told me, oh, it's just sciatica. I couldn't walk. It got to the point where it was just the most pain, Charlie, I've ever felt in my life. And I was even limping to my second time to the hospital, limping, calling my sponsor because I did not want to use.
I think you limped into this podcast, actually.
Yeah,
That's
maybe,
besides the
fucking
point.
guy. So I was calling my sponsor like, yo, like I'm gonna take whatever they give me because I can't fucking take this pain no more.
Right.
You know, and I even went in there saying I'm an addict. Oh, excuse me. Sure enough, the doctor helped me justify it, bro. He's like, you need this medication. You're in so much pain. And I said, you know what? You're right. Give him 10 milligrams diluted. Bro, shot me up with that shit. I fucking got that warm feeling back. My fucking eyes went back and 2 words came into I'm fucked. I am so fucked. And everything I knew about recovery and everything I cared about recovery went right out the window, bro. It was like a fucking light switch. And now, because of my years, you know, around the rooms, I rarely have any more. For most of my friends have passed, but like a lot of friends that I do have are in recovery. So now I'm isolating because I don't want to show my face because I relapsed. I'm scared to tell anybody. I'm scared to come back, and it happens to so many people.
You know, I was not to cut you off, Joe. I was just in a AA meeting last night after. Well, you went to the gym. I went to another
Yes, sir.
meeting after the NA thing. It was amazing. There was a guy there that said he had 10 years, and he was his 6th day back.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
You got
Doesn't matter.
as long as you relapse is not inevitable, but it is highly common. So as long as you realize it and you get back in the rooms and start doing your thing again, and again, Joe will tell you I'm not 100% on 90 and 90 and sponsor 12 steps, and I'm doing all of that. I'm reading books about all of that. I will go the steps because anything I've done before didn't work for me. I do like groups a little bit more than AA meetings sometimes.
See, we're
Depends
a
on
little different with
speakers.
that because I love my meetings.
I know
you
you
love
do.
your groups. I can't stand those groups. I love my meetings. You know what I mean?
So the meeting Joe brings me to on Friday nights, it happens to be at his sober house. I actually love that meeting.
That is an AA fire pit meeting.
That is my favorite meeting we go to. It's actually in Bayshore. That meeting I do love, but I do like the groups because you're with the same people, so you kind of feel like you can open up to them. I'm not a shy guy by any stretch, but when you're talking about your faults,
You're vulnerable.
It's tough for me to do. I've always had that problem in the past. I haven't, as Joe will tell you, I'm a cacadon. I didn't shut the fuck up when I was in inpatient.
Jesus Christ.
But when that's only because I opened up. But again,
Mr. May up in there.
I'm with all the same guys every day, so they're friends now.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you walk in an AA meeting, I try to force myself to speak when it's a new meeting I haven't been to, only because I don't know these people. And then you're hearing somebody, and I don't know if I believe 100% on how things work. I've read the big book twice now, cover to cover. Meetings aren't the same as what that book pushes. And again, I don't want anyone...
Well, when was that book fucking made, bro?
I get it, but
That was in
also
a different time.
percent-wise, more people... During that book time, more people stayed sober than they do now, percentage-wise.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not knocking... Listen, we're talking. I'm not knocking one thing about
Don't knock your
recovery.
fellowship, bro.
Of course not. I wouldn't. Thanks, pal.
Listen, we all have fucking, we all feel different ways about it. Even my fellowship, too. But, like, I get it. Like, listen, NA was based on... I mean, AA was the fucking main 12-step program.
Sure.
And these people, Bill W., right, and the doctor fucking found a solution to help alcoholics. So, yeah, I agree. I mean, listen, time goes on, people evolved. It was from a different era.
And
You know?
again, the way the book's written, it's written in a different language. They use words.
I think
we
that
just
does
don't
turn a lot
use
of
anymore.
people sometimes, you know.
But if you read, listen, you read the stories,
that's why you need somebody to take you through it.
right?
Sponsor.
The step chapters in the big book kind of lose me. And like Joe said, I think what you really need is a sponsor bringing you through that.
Absolutely.
But the stories, you know, Bill's story or the stories at the end of the book from all the other people that wrote something for the big book, I find crazy because they're written in the 20s and 30s.
Horse and
And
buggies?
it's the same.
No, they had cars back then.
Yeah, Joseph. They had cars back then. Jesus Christ.
The roaring 20s.
Yeah. But that was also so. You know, guys losing their jobs and everything else. It's the same shit as what's going on now. It's just things are in. Everything wants everything immediate now, and I think that's what drug addicts are. To me, are much more raging than they were back in the days. Plus, drugs are a lot stronger.
Well, that's what I was going to say, bro. This fucking... I mean, I don't think there was fentanyl and everything back in the fucking 20s
Yeah, I
and 30s.
don't think they had fentanyl yet, Joe.
You know,
Yeah, it's good.
people are...
Good point, pal.
Fucking... you know, it's... Dude, it's not... Like, you can use once, bro, and you can die. You know, it's not...
Yeah.
It's not a fucking game.
Yeah, I did some outpatient before I went inpatient, and the weird. That's when when we were discussing a little bit earlier about that just a number type of thing. I was, I get attached to some of the guys in there, especially the younger guys, and I'm like, you don't want to be me in this place when you're my age. You want to be a kid, and then, the kid's not there for a week or two, and I say to the counselor, like, "Where's so and so?" Oh, his mother called the OD, and it's like, wow, holy cow! Yeah. And it used to really hit home with me, and unfortunately, you really get numb to that stuff.
So my brother of mine, our family's, because of recovery, became family. And his 11 months was yesterday.
That's awesome.
No, 11 months he passed.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
No,
I thought you meant
no, it's all good. But what I'm trying to say is, when I was out there in Arizona with him, and I used to say to him,
I'm sorry. This is your buddy from. I know you're talking. I apologize.
I used to say to him, you want to get it now, bro? It just gets worse. It just gets worse.
Right.
And because I've had somebody tell me that. I've had somebody, when I was 22, 23, first coming around the fucking program, somebody who was in their 30s saying, yo, get this shit now. And you know what's crazy? It comes full circle, because now I'm in my sober house with this kid who's 22 years old, and it reminds me of my buddy who's just coming around. So it's like a sign to me, like maybe I can, maybe I can guide him in the way I'm heading, because, I got to say, man, everything I'm doing, I know I can say 100% I'm heading down the right road.
Well, I see it.
I mean, life's not all fucking rainbows and dildos. Like, we have problems and shit.
And we know how much you like dildos.
Problems come up all the fucking time. Life doesn't stop just because we decide to get clean and sober.
No.
That motherfucker is still spinning.
Well, of course.
And it's hard sometimes coming out of a rehab and coming out and jumping right back into life.
Well, as you said, you were doing your city thing. You kind of taking it easy. You got a different type of job.
I'm not returning to the city right now. I'm doing work on Long Island,
which is good
because I need long term. I've ran right back to work, and I fucking divulged in 70-hour weeks and thought that would be the answer, and I fucking use, So I gotta work. Bills don't fucking stop coming.
Of course.
But also that helps my mental state too, because I feel productive. Just like the gym. The gym just doesn't help me, look better, but mentally helps.
He's going to talk.
By the way, I'm not talking about the gym.
He's going to talk about his boyfriend Jim for a long time.
Yeah. But seriously, what I'm saying, it makes me feel like a productive member of society. So when I am for an hour or two sitting on that couch, I was productive that day. I did shit that day. I hit a meeting. I did something for my recovery. And now I can lay around and fucking veg out for a little bit. Yeah, you know what I mean? Dude, addiction takes me to a fucking depression where I rather be asleep in my dreams than awake, because I can't fucking deal with my reality. That's where it takes me to. That's that fucking darkness that it takes me to.
Well, does it to a lot of people.
You deal with depression? You struggle with that?
That's a good question. I'm gonna say I did. I never thought I did. I want to say that. So never thought I had any depression issues. I always thought everything was cool. Hey, man, I got this. I got,
Yeah.
life. I don't mean recovery. No one says, well, you should never say that. Once you say you got this, you don't got this. But, life, it's not a big deal. I never really thought about it. And then I did have bouts where I got, during the COVID thing, when I was locked down for about 3 or 4 months from my job, because that's all I had in life was go to work every day.
Yeah.
I'd spend 12 hours there just to be there. And, I did struggle with, I would drink myself to sleep, and I got to be honest, when I woke up in the morning, I'd say, fuck, I'm up.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah. But I didn't have work to go to, so let's
the
start
COVID
drinking
thing
again.
fucked a lot of people up too, bro.
I'm not going to blame it on that.
No, it's not. No, I know. But what I'm saying is, I was in Seafield.
Yeah. By the way, can you put a mask on, Joe? I'm very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. When I was in Seafield, dude, COVID. It was March 20. Fucking what is it? 19, right? COVID-19.
Yeah.
I fucking forget. It's all a blur. I was in Seafield at the time, bro, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on out there. Nobody knew what this was. Dude, my mother was coming to a sober house, spraying fucking Lysol on the door handles. Nobody knew what this shit was,
Yeah.
And it took a lot of people out, bro. Closed all the fucking meetings down. That's when Zoom opened up. So I was doing AA at that time, trying to get clean, or, AA sober. Trying to get sober off, Zoom. And I'm not knocking Zoom. It does help people, especially when you have a fucking busy
If
schedule.
you have nothing.
And it's better than nothing. A fucking meeting's a meeting, right? But there's nothing like a fucking meeting face to face. We're creatures of
100%
habit,
agree.
and we need that spiritual human connection.
Understood, Joe. All right, so why don't we wrap this up, because we talked about a lot of stuff today. I just want to touch base. We're going to keep doing this each week. Hopefully we get some people to listen to us, and maybe we get some people to chime in, do things like that. Have a good time. I mean, we're not going to make it all recovery, right, Joe?
Let's talk some conspiracies and stuff one day. Maybe we'll do something like that.
Well, we know that's going to happen.
Go down
Joe.
some rabbit holes.
Yeah, of course, Joe.
Next week, right? Next Sunday. We're going to
absolutely.
start doing this every Sunday.
Absolutely. Put them out, and then
They'll be out Monday morning.
We'll see feedback. If anybody wants us to any topics to discuss, let us know, and we'll go from there. But it was a pleasure. Thank you, Joe.
No
Hope you
problem.
had
Thanks,
fun.
Charlie.
All right, pal. We'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.
See you later, everyone.
Bye-bye.